All right. So we're gonna start off with college because that's kind of where your
Hmm.
origin story began. So the years,
Okay.
2007, 2008. You're broke and you couldn't legally buy beer, but you found a
Right.
way around the loophole. So which kind of, I guess, led you to a homebrew shop. So kind of walk us through that whole process.
Yeah. So when I was actually probably my first year of college, um, my buddy introduced me to, I think it was either Sierra Nevada or Sweetwater 420. And that was my first experience with craft, with anything that wasn't, Bud Light. so, and I remember my dad always saying, like, beer is an acquired taste. And then I would be like, Bud Light's an acquired taste, but good beer is actually pretty good. So that was kind of my experience there. Um, but this was back before the whole like craft beer like surge, at least in this area. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just um, fell in love with it and wanted to do that and drink that instead of, the cheap stuff. But again, I was in college, poor college student. At that point, I didn't have a job or anything. So, I mean, I was a freshman in college, right? So I looked into it. I actually looked into that and distilling, but distilling was way out of, what I could do at that point. So it was a year or two after that. I don't remember exactly when I started. I know I was out of the dorms and in an apartment. But yeah, I was a year or two after that I started. I read How to Brew by John Palmer and read a bunch on the Homebrew Talk forums and kind of figured it out. And then there was a homebrew store up in um, the closest city to me. It was about 40 minutes away. And like I said, I could go up there. I couldn't, I didn't have a fake ID. I didn't, any of that. So I couldn't get beer. It was hard to get beer, period, for me at that point. Right. So, especially craft beer. And, I mean, yeah. And again, like, no, couldn't buy it anywhere really because it was before the, craft beer surge, Renaissance and all that. But yeah. And so I figured out how to do it and did it in my kitchen. And I started with extract and
Okay.
steeping grains and did that for a while. Um, and yeah, I mean, that's how I got started,
That's
and
really
so then
cool.
I'd be
Yeah.
going to like parties and stuff and bringing homemade craft beer and everyone else was drinking, Bush Light or whatever was the cheapest.
Bush Light. Oh yeah, I remember that beer. Yeah, that one gets pretty interesting if you let it sit too long. It gets a little like buttery notes to it. I've noticed it when I was younger.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's
I
not
mean, it's
good, but
fine.
it
I
did
I
the
drink it
job.
every now and again now, when all that's available, but
Right. Like,
yeah.
I still enjoy, like, a Coors,
Yeah.
but I like Coors Banquet. I like a little more, I guess, body
Yeah.
to it than Coors Light. I think Coors Light is too sweet. 'Cause I've done, like I did, like, a comparison once with Coors Light, Miller Light, and Bud Light, and I found them to
Yeah.
be a lot sweeter than what I remembered. Because in
Can you
my
actually pick them
earlier.
out of a lineup?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah, them.
tried, but I've seen, I think it was Treehouse Brewing tried to do it. And many others have tried. I think Clawhammer did a video on it once, where they try to pick it out of a lineup and people who are like so confident, they're like, I love this one and I hate this one. And then they try to
They
pick
couldn't
them out of the lineup and
wow,
they
that's
just can't figure it
interesting.
out.
Yeah, so I think so the first one was easy for me because I for almost, like it's gonna sound bad, but for probably over a decade, I probably drank Bud Light, so I knew exactly what
Yeah.
Bud Light tasted like 'cause it never
Yeah.
really changed, so that one was easy to pick out.
Yeah.
But then I remember Coors Light being slightly sweeter than Miller Lite,
Okay.
so I just kept going back and forth and just trying to find that subtle sweetness. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got it, boy." And my wife was the one who was giving me the beer, right? So she had to, like,
Right.
a Dixie cup so I couldn't tell which one it was and all that kind of fun stuff. That was a fun little experiment. Yeah, I think you should
Mhm.
try it just for
Okay.
funsies,
Yeah.
right? I think it'd be kind of fun. Kind of check it out.
Won't
Have
hurt.